back to the Turf Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Gabe Dowd, and joining me are my two co-hosts, Nick Walters, Big Wop,
yes, sir,
and Dom Capuano. And boys, it is episode 28, which means it is time to give our 2025 draft reactions. Whether you love it or not, Dom, UFL Week 5 scores, and much more. I don't have much more to say. I mean,
I have something to say.
I'll say, what do you want to say? Hit us off.
Guys,
now's the time to share our feelings.
It is peak pollen season here.
Oh, are you giving him a pre-warning?
No
you giving him a pre-warning?
Give him a pre-warning.
Okay.
If I sound like Nick breathing, like that, it's because it's peak pollen season, and boy, it gets in my nose.
Yeah, and so if you see or hear the snot rag, you know.
Yeah,
That's why he's got his lovely little coffee mug.
I got my little coffee mug, water to keep my throat lubricated. I'm prepared.
He's prepared.
He's good. He's
well,
good
with
to go.
that preparation, kick us off, boy.
Well, we're gonna start with a piece of news that I'm personally not ready for. I'm gonna ignore whatever they're doing.
Wow, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And this one hit me
cancel
deep
me.
in the heart. This one hit me deep, guys.
Oh yeah, this is tied to you completely. I forgot.
Titans are signing veteran wide receiver Tyler Lockett. The last place I thought he would end up would be the absolute garbage Titans, but I am excited because I will like to see how he ends up doing with Cam Ward now.
Exactly.
It's
being
where
the
receivers go to die, bro.
Julio Jones.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Well, boy,
Randy
I
Moss.
sure hope he doesn't die.
Rest in peace.
Career sake, career-wise.
I know. Well, I wish you luck, Tyler Lockett. I wish we could have brought you
It
back.
was fun while it
but
lasted, all right?
It's fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
That's true.
We're on to bigger, better things.
Next up, we have Sam Darnold's shrine, the Vikings. Former superstar running
Weird way
back
to-
Adrian Peterson was arrested for a DWI on draft night for going 83 and a 55 after a Vikings draft party.
What a way to celebrate.
I mean,
Former MVP right
dude,
there.
you got plenty of money. Get an Uber. Don't put other people's lives in danger.
That's true. That is true.
Next up, we have the Jaguars are signing free agent, the end,
Oh, no.
Emmanuel
Ogba.
Ogba.
Where do you see a U in there?
Oog.
Ogba.
Oogba. To a 1-year deal. Any information on the price?
I did not see any details in terms of money. That's why I left it the way it was. I'd imagine not much. He's a veteran. Tail end of the career, I don't think they're going to give him much. But
not overpaid like some people.
it's
will be
depth.
touching on
It's
this
that
episode.
veteran to the team. But
Next up, 49ers breakout safety Malik Mustafa suffered a knee injury in Week 18, which could cause him to miss some time in the 2025 season. Another player also just had a recent injury.
the injury bug hit the Niners more than any other team last year, and it's still carrying over to the next season.
I feel like they've been injury plagued since Dre Greenlaw tore his
Whoa,
ACL.
Hey, whoa.
Super Bowl.
Chill,
Keep the
chill.
bad mojo out of the air. We already had a scare this
I'm
past
talking about
weekend.
the Super Bowl.
Well, guess what? We had a scare this weekend. Me and Nick damn near shit ourselves finding out that he,
Push that right back.
tore his quadriceps, both of them, to the first report.
Who took that and ran with it, bro?
I know.
Like, where did that come
whoever
from?
put that out there.
Somebody was trying to scare you guys.
And the part
It
that scared me the
worked.
most is you saw it before he did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God. And then Nick
It's
thankfully
over.
calmed us down when he saw the real report. But, yeah, long story short, he's fine. He's missing a few weeks for now.
We're talking about Dre Greenlaw.
Dre
this
Greenlaw,
week.
that is, yes.
Clarified, not Malik Mustafa.
Nope.
He's fine. He'll live.
He's fine, but I don't know if he's going to be playing right away.
Who cares? It's the 49ers anyways. They're garbage.
It's true.
Bottom of the division. Seahawks taking the top. Anyways, the Carolina Panthers are agreeing on a
team.
1-year deal with wide receiver Hunter Renfrow, who just took a break in the 2024
Yeah.
season, and now they did release why
Announced
it
his
was
retirement, mid-season last year? We announced it on the show, and now he's back in football.
Yeah, he
So-
had what is it called? See the commercials. for
Ulcerative
it.
colitis.
Ulcerative colitis. Yeah, he dropped like 30-something pounds.
He dropped to 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Now he's back up to 187.
Yeah.
Damn, I was about to say, you told me he's as light as Tez Johnson? Lightest player in the
He
NFL?
was.
It was.
He was, but he was
Sorry-
able to
sorry,
thankfully
Tez.
put
Not
on some
anymore.
weight.
Good luck with the Bucks. They're gonna need it.
No,
Him
that
and Bucky
D-line
together.
is
He's like wide receiver 5 right now.
heavy.
Heavy is the right word,
Push,
but
push,
I don't know if that
stoppers.
was the way
Yeah.
I would have went, but,
Brick walls.
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Anyway, moving on.
famous
West
line.
Warwick and Bishop Hendricken native alum Xavier Truss has signed with the Denver Broncos and has been given a chance to start his pro career. That's
This is a local.
huge.
This is a local for us.
I ran track meets at his school.
Yeah. And he's getting a chance to try
went
out
to
for a
Georgia.
pro-
He went to
for a pro
Georgia.
NFL team.
Yep. That's
Pretty
big.
cool.
That's big for this area.
Yeah.
Not
Get him on
many.
the
Not
show.
many people from New England in general.
Gotta get him on the show now.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't Will Levis come from Connecticut?
He trained at breakout with where Soren trained,
Yeah.
and Hartford.
Shout out to Zach Allen,
He came from Bristol Central, right? Or no, not
New Canaan.
New Canaan. Yes. Yep. We got some good athletes
some
around
dogs.
here.
We got some dogs.
We got a couple representatives.
More so from basketball, but
Yeah.
UConn's all right, I guess. Moving on, the Washington Commanders are no longer from Maryland. They are moving back
That's
to
official.
Washington D.C.
In what, like 6 years though? 5 or 6 years?
2027.
2027.
Oh, really?
That's
That's
not that
soon?
far away.
It's pretty quick.
It's
No,
officially
20
official.
I heard 2029.
I thought he said like 2030 actually.
Yeah, I heard.
Is it
later.
really that
I
far
heard
out?
like
I
5
didn't
years.
know.
fact check. Let me
Yeah,
fact
initially I did
check.
not read that.
Because they did say they have to construct the old stadium. So.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
building off of. I mean, that's the part that Nick you left out. They're building off of the old RFK Stadium site, so
Yeah.
they already have a plot
Yeah.
for it already. But no, Dom, you sent us this. Me and Nick hadn't even seen it yet. This is huge news.
2030.
Washington 2030 it is. So we
Break
have 5
ground in
years.
2026, open in 20.
5 years or not, they need to take time with this. We look at the current stadium now; it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It broke and fell on Jalen Hurts, right?
yeah, a player got severely hurt from that too.
Yeah.
Or a fan, sorry.
Fan, yeah.
But no, 2030 or not, this is huge. I think it's incredible for football. The history of Washington's finally kind of returning since they lost their mascot. The least they can do is get their team to play in the nation's capital where their team
They
is
did say
resides.
they're not going to change the name.
That
Speaking
is,
of that.
yeah, but we knew that. We would expect that already. Don't mind Dom blowing his nose in the background.
He did give the
He did give
Warning.
a preface, but wow,
Yeah,
that
I
was
did.
more clear than I thought it would be.
I hope you guys enjoyed that.
you gotta
I
like cover
did
the
not
mic.
enjoy that at all. Man,
I tried to
enjoyed it
turn
a
it
little
away.
bit.
I tried.
If only we could. Is there a mute on? No, we won't figure
There
that
is
out
a
for
mute,
another time.
but it's too far away from my hand to reach.
Yeah, that's true. We'll just save it for entertainment purposes.
As Nick demonstrated.
Moving on to news. The Steelers released 2024 sixth rounder Ryan Watts due to a neck injury. I
That's
believe
sad.
it was in the preseason, right? He didn't even
Yeah.
play a regular season game.
And now he has to medically retire for it, which is
He just got drafted last year.
last year. Yeah.
2024.
Yeah,
They
it
they,
sucks.
they released all same for him. It's not like some release where it's like, oh yeah, you suck, we can't have you on the roster.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
like-
like he's medically forced to retire. We need a spot on the team. It's unfortunate, but both sides are pretty good about it. I think that it's life. He'd rather be healthy than risk everything for. I get it's the game of football, but I don't know what you just said. But we're gonna.
Tua.
Oh, okay. You must. I got you to say it anyways. Might as well just went with it.
With my last piece of news, former first-round pick Isaiah Simmons has signed with the Packers. I wanted this guy so bad.
Mr. I only play football or defense, whatever his answer was in the combine that year.
I thought he was like the next big linebacker safety hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Nope, not at all.
Not with the Cardinals, not with the Giants, probably not going to be with the Packers.
You don't
So-
know that.
I've seen enough.
I was gonna say this is what
I've
his
seen
third. Is
enough.
this his third or fourth team?
He definitely played with the Cardinals and the
He's getting
Giants.
passed around at this
So
point.
it's his third, exactly. Only the NFC. The AFC don't even want him. Moving on, the Browns, the team that's done it all this past weekend. They are signing free agent wide receiver Deontay
Yep,
Johnson.
there it is. That's going to bring them to the Super Bowl.
This is
That's gonna
a
do
This
it.
is
very
gonna. This is
team
gonna be.
player.
This is gonna be life changing for all of 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
True.
At the moment.
Even the one that will be released in June.
Next year, there'll be 6.
They just
This
do
is
that.
gonna-
So you're telling me they're not releasing Deshaun
No,
Watson?
no, they are. They're just drafting 2 more quarterbacks
Oh,
in
I see.
back-to-back
Word.
rounds.
This is gonna be a new
next
thing.
year.
Every year we draft 2.
Yep.
I see it. It's a new
Smart.
method. 6-time Pro Bowler George Kittle is signing a 4-year extension with the 49ers. $40 million of it is guaranteed.
Overpay.
Highest paid tight end in the NFL.
Overpay. I love George Kittle,
So-
but he is too old.
Okay, but look.
He's not going to be
Yeah, but
30.
his production value is still there.
He's not going to be 36, 37 on this contract. No way.
And you could
No
be right,
way.
but I do think that it's interesting this happened now because I believe it was like 3 or 4 episodes ago that we had talked about
Trey McBride.
Trey McBride getting the contract then, and you said it could likely happen this year, and it happened. So maybe they were right for setting the market then. Now that George Kittle has graced us with upping the market once again for this position.
Yeah.
But it was expected. The person who pranked called Shador Sanders this past weekend near the draft was none other than Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich's son, Jax Ulbrich. The team did not punish Ulbrich, and Shador was apologized to over the phone with his son.
Accidentally
They
came
conversed.
over the phone
So
number.
so
That's,
here's what I'm gonna say. I'm glad that they didn't punish Jeff because
Yeah,
at
it's
the end of
not
the
on
day,
him.
it's not his fault. He's doing his job. The guy has kids. He has a family. If the iPad gets left open, there's nothing he can do about it. The kid came out. He was honest about it. He said the iPad was left open. He saw the number. He wrote it down. And him and his buddies went and did it. And it's filmed. It's on social media. There's no skirting around it. They all came out truthful about it. Whether you like Shador or not, he was mature about it and accepted the apology.
He was,
and realized,
absolutely.
he's like, you know what, you're a kid. It is what it is.
But
We
he
all
also
make mistakes.
he wasn't nearly the only one that got
No,
similar
Tyler Warren.
calls.
Tyler Warren got a prank
So
call too.
many.
Thought the Jets were
I've
drafting
heard-
him. Did not draft him.
I've heard of at least 10 players that have gotten calls
It's
like
bad.
this.
Well, we live in an era now where kids are so social media driven, and parents aren't as up to date with the technology. So
They'll
they
do
think,
anything for that 5 million views.
They think that they can leave their equipment in their office untouched or unworried about, and then their kid goes in there and finds the numbers. And these kids aren't dumb. They know that, not dumb in the background, but they know that these players have large audiences. And like you just said, it's a quick. How many views do you think this got over the weekend? I'd say
millions.
easily
at
Millions.
least
at least
easy.
2-3.
Probably
Enough views for the Browns head coach to come out and tell them that he said something ruthless.
It's
good.
just it
These
is.
kids are
Tell them about-
stupid.
yeah.
I'm glad the way they handled it. I'm glad the way they handled it. It sucks we have to deal with this, and unfortunately, I think as Nick just said, it's bound to happen even more as the years go on.
Yeah.
I mean, sports have changed because of social media, and now we're watching the draft get changed. But it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it except hope that parents or coaches specifically can lock down their technology.
They
I
should
guess. I
ban
don't know.
that kid from every NFL stadium, every facility. Forever.
Yeah, but I feel like that would
Forever.
set kind of a bad precedent.
Set
I don't
an
know.
example.
I get it.
Make
I
an
do get it.
example
I
out
do
of
get it completely. But at the same time, it's a coach's son.
If you're watching this, you're an idiot.
I mean, for sure. I'm not sugarcoating it. The kid's fucking stupid. Why would you do that?
You're an asshole.
You're gonna go and apologize and say that. Oh, I realize I ruined your day. Well, you didn't realize.
no
when you
shit.
did it. Yeah. So I
You
mean,
ruined all damn 3 days.
but that's all I got for that. So Dom, why don't you kick us off with our UFL Week 5 scores?
Well,
His
UFL,
favorite league.
my favorite league that I totally watch every week. I got the Memphis Showboats versus the Birmingham Stallions. I got the Showboats winning 24-20.
You don't have them winning. They won.
They won.
They won.
They won.
Goated. 2-3, baby.
The Showboats have got such a fucking weird aura around them.
Fucking trash.
Every time I watch them, I'm like, I don't like it.
They're showboating.
They're showboating. Yeah, sure, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes.
then the Michigan Panthers and the St. Louis Rip-Off Seahawks.
Okay, this is why I knew I shouldn't let you take this game, bro. Come on,
They win 32-27.
Tom. We finally get a game. I'm including you right now. We finally get the Battlehawks to win in 2 weeks, and you're gonna fucking introduce them like that?
Yeah.
Come on, it's the Battlehawks, St. Louis.
Rip-Off
Their
Seahawks.
only football team because
Rip-off.
LA took everything. This is our football. This is my football team. Say it right.
I'll
Battlehawks
take it right
won.
back.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for the Battlehawks. Thanks.
you go.
Thanks, Tom.
Trash.
Come on, your team didn't win. Spoiler.
So my Renegades had a big lead against the DC Defenders, and they decided to blow it in a 37-33 loss, the largest scoring game in UFL history, the largest comeback in UFL history.
A lot of records.
Embarrassing. There's no other word to describe it. Our
Defenders
offense
are
has
the
been
Chiefs of this
anemic
league.
for weeks. And they finally put some points on the board, and our defense just forgets how to play football.
The
And
Renegades for you.
I've
Where's
never
the King
seen
of Spring
anything
at?
like it. He's second in the league in passing yards, baby.
Where's he at now?
Still above your team.
That's true. That is true.
That's
All
a
right.
burn.
Houston Roughnecks took on the, sorry excuse for a football team, San Antonio Brahmas. I'm honestly okay with that. You did that. That's exactly what the Brahmas are. They're dude, they're 1-4. You beat who'd they beat? They beat the Defenders as their one win, but you can't beat any other team.
They actually.
I think that's the one loss the Defenders have been handed.
That's insane.
The Roughnecks won 27-3. Wasn't even a close contest. It's not even worth talking about.
Put that in the NFL terms for me.
What do you want me to say? Like the Brahmas?
So it's like the Chiefs
the
losing
Brahmas.
to the Browns.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, it's pretty
Well,
pitiful.
I could see it, though. The Chiefs suck.
All right, mid-season.
True.
I mean, I don't know if I would use that example, but in terms, they're the laughing stock of the UFL, the Brahmas.
Okay.
But they somehow pulled a win over the Eagles 2 weeks ago, if that makes sense for you. Yeah.
That's a better one.
Okay, so our midseason rankings, just to keep the viewers updated, we got the DC Defenders first in the league at 4-1. Birmingham Stallions ranked at 3-2. Third place, we got Arlington Renegades 3-2. We got my St. Louis Battlehawks at 4, also 3-2. And at fifth place, we got Michigan Panthers, also sitting at 3-2. For sixth in the league, we got the Houston Roughnecks at 2-3, and then we got the Laughing Stock San Antonio Brahmas at 7. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, not last at 1-4, and the good old Memphis Showboats 1-4 is in at 8th in the league.
Dang, the Defenders are running it.
That they've been for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Even before it was the UFO, when it was the XFL, they ran that shit.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
it's Jordan Talbot for you. All right, boys, ready for the discussions? This is the meat and
see.
potatoes of the episode. so
Born
here we
ready.
go.
I like meat and potatoes.
I know you do. So here we go. Discussion 1. Shador being taken in round 5 and at pick 144. My question to you boys is, was this understandable? And do you agree with where he fell? I
Yes.
do want to point out, Nick, we know where you stand. I do want to point out, Dom made it very clear to me and Nick last week during our mock draft, or 2 weeks ago rather, that he was not going to make it in the first round. He was going to fall. He was going to fall out of the first round. Me and Nick believed that there was a chance in this world that the Saints would take him at 9. That did not happen.
The second I heard that he purposely tanked interviews with NFL teams
Yep.
was the biggest red flag for an NFL player possible.
Yep.
Also, didn't he not participate in the combine?
No, he
'Cause
showed
they
up for
thought
only
he was
media
too good.
events. That's it.
That right there is, I don't even know how to.
Red flag.
He's a diva.
Character
Yeah.
issues off the field.
Yeah. You are not that good. Have never played an NFL game. You have no awards to show for it. You didn't even win in college.
A losing record in college, and they retired your number because
You
your
were
dad's the coach.
He ended this stuff.
And you still dropped
And you're
it.
not going to do the combine. You're not going to do the combine.
Look,
you're going to tank.
I'm the one
interviews.
person who likes Shador, and where I think he did go wrong, and this is only what the public eye sees. We don't know what he actually said in the formal interviews. But for the media days at the combine, he looked at them and said that if you don't want a guy to change your franchise, don't pick me.
Yeah, he's
well,
gonna
they didn't
change it
pick you.
already.
They
Yeah.
did not pick you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of that, you went to a team that historically ruins
They
careers, not
picked
builds
how many
careers.
quarterbacks?
2 in this draft. They have 6 or 5 total on the roster.
You don't know about how many quarterbacks were picked before him. What,
Like
five?
5.
Five or
yeah.
6.
Five, yeah. That's
Tyler
embarrassing.
Shaw went before you.
People's
and he
Shuck.
went Shaw, and he went
Shuck.
famous or viral for going on the combine and throwing a sidearm 8-yard slant and overthrowing and wide right by 8 yards. Shador, I
that.
love you, man. I
That was
even
the worst throw I've ever
even
seen in my
tagged you
life.
on the podcast account and said go be legendary once you got picked.
I wish
But
the best for him, but I
do.
don't think
I
it's-
do. I
don't
want to
think
see
it's gonna
great
work.
things. And you know, I think I was talking to both of you about this earlier. It sucks for both Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett because you
Joe
gave
Flacco.
up. I don't care about Joe Flacco.
He's too old.
You gave up. He's already won a Super Bowl. He's done enough. You gave
My
up
goat.
assets for Kenny Pickett, whose now career has gone to shit because he's gone to a team that doesn't know what they're doing, how to produce, and they're basically putting everything on the dartboard and hoping one of them stays. Now, Kenny Pickett's getting the shit end of the stick. We already know where the cameras and the lights are shining. Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. Now, Dylan Gabriel, I think, is already at the shit end of this stick because he
'Cause
was
his last
supposed
name isn't Sanders.
he was supposed to be the face of this draft. He was supposed to, or of this class for the Browns. He was supposed to be the guy who came in, beat out Pickett, beat out Flacco, earn the spot, run the Browns team. Now he has to sit there and go through the drama with the Sanders family. He has to sit behind Shador. He has to watch Shador get all the media attention, get interviewed daily in the locker room, and still have to overcome that. Now you might say, well, whatever, Shador is not nothing to you. That's a lot to overcome when you're already the favorite by the public eye. I mean, the draft was... Honestly, every pick was not glorified because we all sat there, including our analysts, and said, "Where's Shador? Why is Shador not
all they
picked?"
talked
That's
about.
all they talked about. That was what the weekend was. It was the Shador Sanders weekend. And some of you might say maybe that was the plan all along, was for the Sanders family to continue to be talking about. And look, Shador, I like you a lot. I wanted you to get picked so badly. I think your game is where it needs to be. You know how to move the pocket to an extent. I think there are areas of your game that need to be cleaned up, but you don't carry yourself how the quarterback position is graded. Everything Dom talked about,
He carries himself like a DB.
yes, everything Dom talked about are things that they look for in your defensive backs, in your running backs, in your offensive linemen. When you're a quarterback, you are the leader of the team. You are essentially a coach. You are looked at to be the adult in the room, not a 22-year-old kid. And now, this is where I lead into this part. Colin Cowherd, you were a guy in sports media who I looked up to. You were a guy who has his own show with his name, and you have this brand that's lasted for 25 years. You've been on ESPN Radio. You've been shipped out of ESPN to Fox Sports, and here we wonder why. You said 2 months ago, and Dom, I'd love to hear your input on this. You proposed a trade when you were glazing Shador Sanders, when you thought that he was the number 1 quarterback in the class. You said that the Steelers should trade up to the first overall pick with the Titans and giving up TJ Watt, George Pickens, your 2025 first, and your 2026 first round pick to select Shador Sanders number 1 overall. You're selling your entire future in your defense, your offense, and your future pick assets for a guy that you claim now you went on air on Saturday or Friday after the first night of the draft and said, Shador, this is the unfortunate reality of life and the unfortunate reality of the NFL. You are a shitty broadcaster. You flip-flop your takes all the time. You won't even get into the Drew Lock take you made in 2019 when he was your dark horse MVP candidate, and then you jumped ship on him. Now you do it to Shador. You glaze him on live television week in and week out for 4 months. And then you go on the weekend of the draft because you need clicks and you need a story to talk about. And you go on there and you shit on the Sanders family. And then in the same take, you sit there and say, but Shador, I like you. The Steelers should have took you. You've got great size. You can throw a ball. You've got all these skills. But also, in the other take, Shador doesn't have it. He doesn't have size. He can't throw the ball far. He's not Josh Allen. I hate to break it to you. No one's Josh Allen, Colin. So, Fox, check in on your broadcasters. And Colin, I'd love for you to see this or anyone to point out your bullshit takes because this is flawed and I cannot believe you even went on there and said it. The fact that it's even being pushed out on social media is pathetic. And I know that I shouldn't get pissed up in arms about it. I'm spitting everywhere.
He's getting passionate
but
about
it's
it.
bullshit. Like, how are you going to go out there and shit on a fucking 23-year-old kid and you're also ruining your own brand and your own look? Nick laughed the second I said your name. How do you think the rest of people see when they view your show? You got Joy Taylor off the show, who has her own issues, but yet she was the only one we watched on that show. And not because she looks good, but because she actually speaks facts and she knows her sports. And I'll give her that. That's why she's on Fox Network still. Moved to do another show. Colin?
I wonder why.
Colin, I still watch you, and I know that's a hypocritical thing of me to say. It's a low moment, bro.
Every moment is a
you
low
say
moment
that
for
you
him.
you say you support Shador and you wish the best for him. But then in the same hand, you shit on the whole situation. You shit on Deion, who you claim is a friend of yours. You did the same thing to Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel, and then you invite him on your show and you make a joke of it. I'm sorry.
You're a clown.
Terrible. You're a clown. Yes, that's the best way I can put it. This might not go to him, obviously, but it needs to be said. I'm so tired of watching him week in and week out go on live television on his stupid-ass show and make these false claims.
Not even just football. Basketball.
Everything.
Like,
Everything.
the way he talks about Jason Tatum, you'd think he was the worst player on the planet.
Dom, I don't know where you see that. I mean, that trade proposition is huge.
Oh,
Giving up-
I saw it online on
Like-
an Instagram account.
Yeah, it's...
It posted like worst trade ever, and I was looking at it. I'm like, who in their right mind would do that? And
You
I'm
would
like,
have to
TJ
legitimately
Watt
be
is a
dimensioned.
former Hall of Famer.
and then looking back at it afterwards, it's like he went in the 5th round. You just traded all your assets to a quarterback that just got taken.
That's
in
not
the
even
5th
the
round.
point. The point is that he made that trade proposition to go out 2 months later, the night after draft night. So it makes you look like you're just following headlines like any other casual fucking kid and claim that this is the reality. Okay, well, what was reality 2 months ago when you were glazing them?
Yeah,
It's terrible.
switched up real quick.
Yeah. Moving on now that I got that off my chest. Sorry to get heated there for a bit. According to Dov Kleeman, who is a sports media person, I really don't know what his ties to the NFL are, claimed that his quarterback Mount Rushmore consists of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, and Aaron Rodgers. Now, I'm okay with the first 3, but is Aaron Rodgers number 4 on our Mount Rushmore, boys?
Yes.
No,
Yes? You are sold on that? Okay, Dom, why and who is your 4th spot?
Drew Brees.
Wow. I like it. Do you have a claim?
He was better than Aaron Rodgers. I think the peaks were different. Aaron Rodgers' peak was kind of just chucking the ball up in the air.
That's
and
true. He got
hoping
famous
his-
off of Hail Marys.
hoping his
on
wide
his
receivers
birthday.
caught it, and
Yeah.
his wide receivers will pull through with great catches. I'm not taking away from Aaron Rodgers. He's an amazing
He's one of your favorite
quarterback. I
players.
love him.
Yeah.
His cadence will forever sit with me as like eating pizza on a Sunday night and watching football. It's just like my childhood is his cadence.
It's going to be a sad reality, unfortunately, when he retires. 'Cause
Yeah,
He was.
he's
key
the type of
component.
quarterback where I'll pick him on Madden to play because I love listening to him snap the ball. Like, call me crazy, but just.
No, I hear you on it.
But not taking away from him. I'm just saying Drew Brees for what he was as one of the most accurate passers to
The
ever
most.
play the quarterback, the most accurate passer, just playing through
He also
punctured
just
lungs.
overcame
and
that
this.
stupid narrative that if you're under 6 foot, you can't play quarterback.
Yeah, similar
So-
to Russell Wilson. I know Nick loves to hear it, but Russell
Why'd you
Wilson
have to
was
bring that up?
a 5'10"
He
quarterback.
wouldn't have even thought about that. That wouldn't have even crossed his mind as a thing.
Multiple quarterbacks have done it, but Drew Brees, I think he holds. God, how many passing yards does he have? It's up
He's
there.
in the top 3.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
interchangeable
All of
until, he has
Until
a lot of
Brady
records.
passed him,
Yeah,
yeah.
until Brady, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Brady played for 800
I like
years.
that. That's actually an interesting take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
But you
Hold
agree with what was given for the...
I think a lot of what Dom said I'm going to use as my argument for Aaron Rodgers, right? You think, when you hear Aaron Rodgers, you think of your childhood. You think of Sunday Night Football, primetime games. You think of
these huge
this
iconic moments.
incredible quarterback.
Yeah.
I would argue he's the most talented quarterback in NFL history. That doesn't equate to best.
Yeah.
That equates to most talented. I think he has some
He
of the
was
best
one of the
arm
first
talent
guys
we've
to throw
ever
from
seen.
weird angles before Stafford was even doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And now Mahomes like barely changes his arm angle. And I was like, oh my god! Aaron Rodgers has been doing this since like I
2007.
was born.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, so I didn't know it was this high. So Drew Brees was the first quarterback to ever throw for over 80,000 yards in the NFL, and he is second only behind Tom Brady.
I
What's-
honestly think I'd have to go Drew Brees over Aaron Rodgers.
I don't
Interesting
mind
thing
that.
is, Aaron Rodgers isn't even in the top 5 for passing yards. So how can you put a quarterback that's
Yeah,
thrown
but-
over 10,000 yards less than another one?
I think it's
Because
going
of the
based off your
talent
ability
level.
to play the game, not your ability to provide to the game. You know?
But how do you get any
Like,
better
are
than the
we
most
putting-
accurate passer in NFL history?
Are we
with
putting Frank Gore on the running back Mount Rushmore
I
just
can't
because he
even
played
though
forever?
I was gonna say even though he was there and he holds a lot of I can't put Frank. I don't even
Exactly.
yeah,
call him
but
highlight,
what I'm telling you is that Drew Brees consistently was the most accurate passer
Absolutely.
to ever play. Combine that with the most passing yards, and how can you have a better quarterback other than Tom
Also,
Brady?
his story is
'Cause-
phenomenal. He went to New Orleans in a time where no one wanted to go there. Everyone jumped ship. Hurricane Katrina had just taken place. They won a Super Bowl in the first
Yep.
year. So I mean,
Sean Payton, baby.
and Drew Brees was a quarterback that everyone just threw to the streets. He was drafted to
He was
San
the
Diego Chargers. Destroyed his
Got
shoulder.
hurt, yeah.
Nobody wanted him. Sean Payton said, "You know what? I want my fingerprints all over that. I want to be the guy who fixes that. Don't make the eye roll." And like Dom said, he goes on to be the most accurate passer, change the game.
Yeah, he played
His
through
wa-
punctured lungs and everything.
his ability to read a defense. We all talk about Peyton Manning. Drew Brees was phenomenal
there,
at manipulating the defenses. Yeah, but no, I like your take on that. I actually agree with you. I think I'd put Drew Brees ahead of.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers
I would
on
have
Mount
to
Rushmore,
just for that sake.
I don't mind it. It doesn't change my opinion, but
It's not arguable.
I'm not gonna sit
Yeah,
here and be like,
it
no,
goes
that
away.
shouldn't happen. Like,
So the next discussion topic, Dom. I know you don't know too much about WWE, but I think it's an interesting thing to hear into. So every post-COVID WrestleMania has been held in an NFL stadium, and that host team of that stadium has gone on to make the playoffs. So WrestleMania 37, Raymond James Stadium, the Bucks. 2021 Bucks make it to the divisional round. Unfortunately, I think they lost to the Los Angeles Rams. Then we have WrestleMania 38 taking place at AT&T Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys. 2022 comes, the Cowboys make it to the divisional round and lose to the 49ers. WrestleMania 39, SoFi Stadium, LA Rams. 2023, the Rams make it to the wild card. Then we have WrestleMania 40 at Lincoln Financial Field, which is the Eagles. In 2024, we watch the Eagles take on to win the Super Bowl. So, boys, this past WrestleMania that just passed 2 weeks ago was at Allegiant Stadium. Therefore, the Raiders. In 2025, do we see the Raiders make the playoffs? And I know this is superstitious, and this is all hypothetical.
Obviously, it's just like a huge coincidence,
Yeah.
but honestly, I can see it happening again.
no.
The Raiders just
No.
completely.
No.
I
ripped
wanted to
it.
hear
No,
Dom because
no,
of the
no,
assets
no,
they brought to
no,
this team.
no.
Now you
No,
refuse to.
there's no way in hell this Geno Smith-led offense in the
Ashton Jesse,
AFC West,
Brock Bowers.
plus
Pete
the
Carroll.
AFC in general.
I'm just trying to piss him off.
There's no way. There's literally no way. This team is at best a 7-win team.
I'm surprised you gave him that. I know you're a hater.
I am a hater, and rightfully so.
Dom,
They're
I
not good.
appreciate you going with the script.
They're making the playoffs.
Hey.
What's your argument?
They're making the playoffs.
In just the West, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers are all better than the Raiders. Exactly.
I can see the Raiders beating the Chargers. I can see the Raiders beating the Chiefs. And I can see the Raiders beating the
Oh,
Broncos.
You're on cocaine.
I was going to say, I thought you were stopping there. I thought you were going to say, wow, the Broncos are sweeping them this year.
Hell no.
No, not at all.
Oh, Raiders are going undefeated in the division.
In the division as a whole, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
the Broncos?
As a
That
whole.
pollen's really getting to you, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
It's like in your brain or something.
You know, that probably is with how I feel right now. Yeah.
This kid is
All right, well, okay. On to the next
on
discussion
something,
topic.
bro. That I'm not even gonna.
So I'm
going to
get the graphic out because I think it's hard to explain with just words on the screen. So CBS about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago has proposed an NFL in-season tournament. If you watch the NBA, you know what we're referring to. It was the NBA's stupid little implementation to give LeBron a feel-good story about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Basically, you can win a championship in the middle of the season that has nothing to do with the NBA Finals.
Yep, it's meaningless.
It's a participation trophy.
Yep.
So CBS proposes this. So let me see if I can get it explained thoroughly, and then I'll hear your
No,
thoughts.
I don't even want to hear it. No. I hate
Well,
it.
too bad. Here you
I
go.
hate it.
AFC play-in tourney. The 8th seed Bengals. This is all off of last year's, so you have an understanding of how it would go. The 8th seed Bengals would take on the 7th seed Broncos. Winner will take on the 2nd seed Bills. Loser then goes on to play the winner of the 10th seed Dolphins and the 9th seed Colts. Loser of that is eliminated, and winner advances to play the number 1 seed Chiefs. As you can hear, Dom has his thoughts.
That's bullshit.
So, before Dom gives his final thoughts, on to the NFC. The The NFC play-in tourney, the 8th seed Seattle Seahawks would take on the 7th seed Packers. Winner would advance to play the 2nd seed Eagles. Loser would take on the winner of the 10th seed Cardinals and the 9th seed Falcons. The loser of that would be eliminated, and the winner would advance to play the 1 seed Lions. What do we think of this
I can
idea?
tell you right
And
now.
obviously, it's a hypothetical. We know this.
It's hypothetical.
It's not-
If we can't even have a tackle Pro Bowl without having
Fair
to watch flag football, how are we going to add a whole
Well,
other
okay,
tournament? to
okay.
this
Let me
season?
maybe. So it's
No,
not.
I think
adding,
they'll add a participation trophy before they bring back tackle
it's
football
not
Pro Bowl.
adding extra games. It's like built in within the schedule that already exists.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's giving teams that are already eliminated. So look, after the 7th seed, it should be eliminated. Or 8th seed now. But it's to give the 9th and 10th seed a possibility of potentially making it. It's
That's
already
stupid.
it's implemented.
Stop overcomplicating
It's just implemented into the current.
The
bracket
only
and
extra
current
game that happens is
schedule.
the championship.
Yeah.
Those teams would have to play an extra game.
I'd still rather see a tackle Pro Bowl.
100%. If I had the
Well,
option
yeah,
between
for
those
sure.
two.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
want to play in
but-
tourney. I think it's an interesting idea they brought up, and I thought I wanted to hear your boys' thoughts on it.
I think it's stop overcomplicating.
I don't like
stop
the NBA
changing
did it. Why would I
things.
want my NFL
just
to do it?
like
I don't think it's
original
the worst
football.
thing, but I don't. We
If
don't
there's
need
a
it. We
trophy
don't need
handed to it, I don't want it. If it's an opportunity for teams that are low seed to do it, but even then, I'm like, well, what's the point of having an eight team
there
bracket?
has to
then?
be some sort of pride, like maybe for like a draft pick or something. You get a higher pick if
a
you win.
concept Wow.
Maybe you get the number one
I
pick
can't
if you
say it.
win.
Yeah. No. You get an additional second or third. Maybe we can negotiate that. But a
Because
first,
nobody's gonna try for that.
an additional pick's an additional pick. Look at the Seahawks did this year. They moved up and down all day and gained picks next year.
So did
Same
we.
with the Eagles. We didn't gain picks next year.
No, we moved up and down and.
Yeah, but we didn't do what they and the Eagles did. They cooked. Both classes cooked.
Oh yeah.
But okay, now I'm excited. It's debate time, boys. We started this talk
boy.
over text. I believe day 2 of the NFL draft when the Seahawks took Nick Eamon-Wari, who has been compared to Cam Chancellor of the.
Oh
sorts.
yeah.
Who?
But first, let me present this: the OG fly zone, no fly zone. Sorry, the OG no fly zone. We have Chris Harris Jr., Aqib Talib, T.J. Ward, Darren Stewart, and Bradley Roby. I almost butchered that. And then we have the no-fly zone, potentially 2.0. PS2, Jade Barron, who was drafted in the first round, Brandon Jones, Riley Moss, and Talanoa Hufanga signed in free agency. Taking on the OG, so then the OG Legion of Boom would be Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner, and if you want to shake it differently, we can go Brandon Browner, or according to Don Brandon Shower. The Legion of Boom 2.0, now that the draft has been completed, Devon Witherspoon, Reek Woolen, Kobe Bryant, Julian Love, and Nick Eamon-Wari, who was drafted in the second round. Boys, my debate and my topic for you guys, No Fly Zone 2.0 versus Legion of Boom 2.0. Who has the better defense and why?
Nick, I'll let you go first. Take it away.
Yeah. So.
Insult me.
Okay. So this isn't even a question.
Okay.
All right. Last year, take away Hufanga, take away Jade Barron. Now you're left with PS2, Brandon Jones, Riley Moss.
Mm-hmm.
They were being compared to the no-fly zone without those players. Put those players in, give them Vance Joseph. There's no question about it. This is the best defense in the league. We had the most sacks in franchise history, the most sacks in the entire NFL without these players on the defense. Now add the extra time it's going to take the quarterback to throw the ball with lockdown defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain, plus Jade Barron, who's going to learn from him. Riley Moss, probably one of the best cornerback threes in the NFL, if not the best, by far. Brandon Jones, he took a big-time step. Talanoa Hufanga, fantastic player. I don't think there's any argument to be made for Seattle to have any sort of chance of
The
this.
mishap with the Bengals will never happen again now that Jade Barron's in the building.
That was inexcusable.
yeah.
Or the Jerry Judy game.
That was terrible. All right, Dom, Legion of Boom 2.0 or No Fly Zone 2.0 and why?
Legion of Boom 2.0. Well, okay, I'll give it to you. The Broncos defense is going to be better than they've been for as long as I can remember.
At least a decade.
At least a decade.
We
With
can all
that
agree
being
there.
said, I think that the Seahawks defense, you are severely underestimating what they will be. We've seen Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen play very well for the past 2 years. People that aren't even on this list, like Kobe Bryant and some other people.
I included Kobe.
I'm looking at him right there.
I had
Oh,
to.
he is on the
I had
list.
to.
Okay, I wasn't even looking at the list.
I love Seattle's
Kobe Bryant,
defense.
and
Don't get
then
me wrong.
there's what, Jordan Love? Not
Julian.
Jordan Love. Julian Love.
Jordan Love, my favorite Seattle defensive back.
So, you know what I mean.
Restart. I sound
Sapolsky,
fresh.
Sapolsky,
Yeah,
Sapolsky.
Sapolsky in his head.
But we have Julian Love that's even been on the rise for us as of last year. I mean, our defense has only gone up in the past year.
And
Now
they're
we
young.
have
They're
we
very
have
young still too.
Exactly. We've picked what? Devin Witherspoon just a year ago drafted him.
We're young too.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's not an argument.
Okay. Well, we have a brand new safety, the best safety
So do we.
in the draft. Okay, you want a medal.
Yes.
This safety has been compared to Cam Chancellor because of how hard he hits. I don't know if you've seen some of the clips, but there was a running back coming around the corner, and, well, let's say he ended up on the ground and the ball in the other end zone.
That's a flag in the NFL. Let's be straight up about it. That's a penalty.
You know, you're probably right, unfortunately.
That
But-
instills fear in a running back, though.
Big whoop.
Big whoop. Big wow.
Okay, well, we have an elite blitzing from the corner. I mean,
Did you lead the league in sacks?
probably from the corner spot, yeah.
I don't know about that.
What corner has had more sacks than Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen combined?
Oh, I just know that off the top of my head.
Okay, well, then stop arguing with me then if you don't.
I'm going to argue whatever I want.
Okay.
I'm going to argue whatever I want.
Anyways, I do think that the Broncos defense is going to be a force to be reckoned with, but I think the Seahawks defense is going to be as well-rounded as you can possibly get with big hitters that we haven't seen in a while. We can easily compare Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon to Richard Sherman and that other guy's name I can't pronounce. And we have
Which one?
Brandon
Browner?
Browner.
You could have just said Earl Thomas, too, if you wanted.
I could have, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we do have our brand new safety that's comparable to Cam Chancellor. I think this is as close
He was
as
a
we
dog
can
in
get
South
to
Carolina.
the original Legion of Boom without actually being
Okay.
the Legion of
We
Boom.
want to compare. I'll compare Talanoa Hufanga to Troy Polamalu. Troy Polamalu is better than Cam Chancellor.
That's
Wow.
Boom.
That's bold. Not the biggest hitter though. Cam Chancellor was the biggest hitter to ever play on defense.
That's a flag in the NFL now. That's setting your team back. Like it or not.
if you do
like it or not.
if you
it's
do
the
it
truth.
cleanly.
That's not true. We've seen it.
You can cleanly hit people big.
You
Yeah,
can in
will
theory.
Yeah, I was saying theory, but will it go unflagged?
Especially if you're
unpenalized?
playing red and white.
I love hearing that.
That
in my
was
headphones.
immaculate.
That's how I feel about your
That was
take.
fantastic. You can
That's
feel
how I
however
feel
you
about-
want.
That was good. I liked that. All right, I think we've had enough said about the 2.0. Boys, we don't even know if we're going to get the 2.0 of either defense, but I think both. I think
Listen, we need to see how the rookies perform.
I was going to say, I think right now, I think they're both in very similar spots. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of new guys that could step up. We'll see. We'll come back to this, week 3, week 4? We want to come back to it next season.
Yeah, and then you got Ernest Jones getting re-signed too.
Oh, wow,
he
he's
was
fearing it now.
one
He's
of the
feeling it.
All right, let's
best.
Dre Greenlaw?
linebacker- He just fucking
The
tore
best
his quad.
linebacker in the class.
He's gonna
Go
get
ban for
fucking
ban.
hurt.
Best linebacker in
He's
the class.
gonna get
Why?
hurt
Because he
before
pulled
he
his
steps
quad.
on the
Because he pulled his quad. Every
the
player
Achilles
in
heel
the
of the
NFL,
Super Bowl. He's
that
gonna
was
fucking
2 years ago.
He's gonna get hurt before he even makes it to his first NFL game
Whoa!
with the Broncos.
Don't
Bro,
say that.
bro.
Don't say that.
You don't
even
know what
say
you're talking
that.
about.
Don't even say
You don't
that.
know what you're
Either way,
talking
he's not as good as Ernest Jones.
about. That
Let's compare the defensive lines.
Zach Allen, JFM,
Leonard Fournette.
Malcolm Roach.
Leonard.
I said Leonard.
You said Leonard.
No, I did
It's
not.
Leonard.
Play it back. Leonard. It's another way of saying it. Leonard.
Leonard. You said Leonard.
No, I did not. Play the fucking clip back.
Why,
Brandon
why are you
Shower,
bringing up a
Leonard.
running back? Leonard Fournette played for the Jaguars and the Bucks as a running back. What does he have to do with anything?
You know what I'm talking about.
No,
Stop
I
fucking with me.
genuinely
Stop
don't know what you're
fucking
talking
with me.
about.
Stop. Hold on. I'm gonna have Google say his name.
If that's the play. Then
What
why,
is he talking
Hold
about?
on, I didn't get to play perfect time, and we brought up Shador, but you're gonna get to have Google speak to the show. Hold on,
Oh God.
I only got to do it for.
Do you know what he's talking about?
No,
Leonard Fournette was a running
I
back.
can only do it for like 4 seconds, so we're gonna get copyrighted on YouTube.
Do not play that, bro.
Bro, no, we're gonna get fucking
All right,
copyrighted.
That's it. Episode
That's
done.
all you get.
Episode
That's
done.
all you get.
That's
you
it.
get 2
We're-
seconds of perfect
that's
timing.
it.
DeMarcus Lawrence that we just took from the freaking
Leonard
Cowboys.
Fournette and DeMarcus Lawrence are not the same person.
I know. I'm just adding. I'm adding on to it. I'm adding.
I
On
He
didn't
meant
have to-
Leonard Williams on the
yeah,
D-line.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's who I meant. Yeah.
but he said Leonard. That's why I stopped him. But no, he meant Leonard Williams, and then yes, you did get. It was from Dallas. You got him.
yeah,
right?
yeah, Dallas.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he had beef with the other guy on his way out.
I don't know. I think he's past
DeMarcus
his
Lawrence
prime.
is 800 years old.
Yeah.
That's like us signing Randy Gregory.
He's
We all
not-
know how that turned out.
Okay.
Sucked.
Well,
A+ signing. Thank you,
I
Nathaniel
wish he
Hackett.
didn't come back and sign that time when we had the whole fiasco.
Yeah, he should have just stayed with Dallas. We shouldn't have tried to steal him.
It's a lot of money we had there. Is that all you got, Dom? You're researching something over there, so I'm curious what you're doing.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. On to our notable draft picks. Do you want to go we'll go 1-1-1?
Sure.
I think it's better we go that way. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So for my number 1, I went Amika Ibuka, who was picked at pick 19. He's wide receiver at Ohio State. I simply went with this pick because the Bucs needed defensive help tremendously. You retained Chris Godwin. You have Mike Evans. You have Baker Mayfield. Your backfield's good with Bucky Irving. Your offensive line, as long as healthy, is great. Your defense, however, needs depth. You needed edge badly. You lost. I'm gonna say the last name wrong.
Tyron Tranka.
Thank you.
Tranka.
You lost him. Levante David, old. Shaq Barrett, is he even on the team anymore? I think he is. He signed for 1 more year or something. No, he's gone.
No, he's on the Dolphins.
Dolphins, that's what I know he left. You need tremendous help on the defense. But where I come to talk about this is I commend you for doing this because it shows us that there's either 2 things happening. You don't have faith in your current wide receiver room because one is old and one is hurt. And you want to surround Baker because you truly believe that he is the guy to get you guys over the hump. So I'm happy with the pick, but I'm shocked because I thought they would have gone defense. I thought maybe Jahdae Barron goes to the Bucs. I thought maybe Will Johnson goes to the Bucs, who we saw fall way out of the first round. I thought, what are you doing over there, buddy?
What?
You highlighting my picks. What are you doing?
Just so I can read them and I know
okay,
where I'm at.
okay,
It's
all
just my brain focus. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, no, I'm good. I'm going to
You
call
don't
you
have
out.
to call me out on that.
And then, yeah, that's my train of thought, though. Nick, give us your first notable pick that stood out to you.
My first notable pick was R.J. Harvey, who the Broncos picked at pick 60. He's a running back from UCF, University of Central Florida. This guy looks like Ashton Genty on crack. I don't think there was a single clip I saw of him going down
He was
on
underrated.
first or second contact.
He was definitely underrated.
He is like Javonte Williams if Javonte Williams was a good player.
The worst part is when the pick got in, I didn't even see it yet. Nick sent me a screenshot and said, "Who the hell is this guy?" I'm like, I'll let you know in 15 minutes.
Bro, I wanted Cam Scatabo so bad.
Yeah, I know. I think everyone liked him a lot. I mean,
he dropped all the way to round 4.
but I'm not mad with who we got. At pick 60, the value is perfect.
Once I actually watched him,
We gained draft capital in moving back to get this guy. So, I mean, it worked out for all of us.
George Payton masterclass.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Dom, take it away.
So for my number 1, I picked Jalen Milroe, the Seahawks pick number 92, a
As
quarterback.
he wears a Sam Darnold jersey.
I can't catch a break today. Anyways,
Do we ever?
I think this is huge for Seattle. Something that I didn't expect,
Neither
but
did
something I'm not very surprised by after the fact. This is a Lamar Jackson-like guy, athletic, fast, but has the throwing power of Josh Allen. He's a guy that can change the game, but he needs to fix up a few spots.
He's not refined yet.
So I think he's perfect, and he's
a
humble.
project.
He's the most humble quarterback in the draft by far. He goes and
Let
sits
a
down.
naysayer know. He wears it on his shirt.
He went
Very
and sat
interesting.
down with teams. An anonymous team came out and said, I don't know if it's Seattle. I don't know who the hell it was. They don't really give a fuck either. But he goes, I know I got problems to fix. I forgot. It's a really cool post. Just look up.
Don't say close quotes and you're fine. Just say you're referring to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it said. It was something about like he knows that he started listing off what he needs
There's
to fix.
maturity there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started listing off what he needs to fix, and he goes to the guy who's interviewing him. And he's like, "Wouldn't you be concerned if a quarterback didn't tell you what they needed to fix? They only said the good parts."
That's not. I'm not. I like that. Yeah, completely.
So, I think that's amazing for both our locker room and his future. I think he is the future. As much as I hate to say it, because I love Sam Darnold, and I hope he does good. I don't know who I'm rooting for here. I love them both. I hope
think
they
it says
both
a lot
develop
about
good.
the way the contract of Sam Darnold is set up.
But yeah, it does make sense. Dump Sam Darnold after a year. Hopefully Jalen Moreau's developed, or keep Sam Darnold for all 3 and then start Jalen Moreau.
Care to elaborate, Nick? Oh no.
So I don't know if I've made this very clear, but I am not the
Sam
biggest Sam
Darnold
Darnold
in the
fan.
trash can.
Jalen Milroe is going to be your starter by 2027.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah,
For
for
sure.
sure. I don't think Sam.
I don't think
Darnold's
Darnold makes
gonna-
it for the full
yeah.
contract. Full first year, yeah. Full contract, no.
He sits there wearing this guy's jersey.
I got it for $15.
And
I
it's-
mean, I got it for
No,
100.
you did not. What are you talking about?
It's real.
Yeah,
you got it
yeah,
at Fanatics.
it's
What are
real.
you
I
talking
got it
about?
for
Bro, it's got the
100.
Nike logo on it.
Yeah,
it's definitely real.
This shit's real. Fanatics, come on. I mean, come on now. You don't get.
I
Stitch,
paid my 170
You don't get Stitch jerseys for $15.
for real, bro.
Wow. Okay. Well, you care to lean away a little bit, like. How's that rag doing you? It's the same rag.
It's soaking wet.
It's doing good so far.
Okay.
So
My
far.
second notable draft pick is Matthew Golden at pick 23. The
I
guy
guess
that
I'll go
me
fuck
and
myself.
Nick
I wasn't
initially,
done yet.
well, you took too long and you blew your nose, so now you're done. Me and Nick initially wanted Matthew Golden looked like a bunch of casuals when we got Jahdae Barron initially, because when the pick was first announced, we were like, well, we don't need that. We have PS2. But then, not even 5 minutes later, me and Nick were like, well, go look at the Bengals tape. We could have won that game 3 different times, both in a regular game period and twice in OT. Neither of which happened because Levi Wallace is a joke who plays football.
Don't even talk about him.
Yeah, and
Who the
Riley
fuck
Moss,
is
as
that?
much as
Exactly.
as much as I love you, Riley, man, you got cooked by T.
That injury, that set you back.
You did. Yeah, and you couldn't hang with T. Higgins. But we go and get Longhorn, Jahdae Barron, and I mean we were happy with it, but back to the star of the show, Matthew Golden. When Packers were on the clock, I think it was pretty known they had to go there. But it was shocking that they actually finally did it because this is the first year they've taken the first round since 2002.
Yeah.
That's why this is so notable.
Wow.
They didn't do this for Rodgers. They're doing it for Jordan Love. So, Jordan Love, please go play your ass off this season. And I hope you and him are stars in Green Bay.
What haven't they done since 2002?
They have not selected a wide receiver in
Oh,
the
wow.
first round of the draft since 2002. Wow. And Matthew Golden is that guy. They did it, and I think he is the perfect guy
Well, he
for
better
the
ball
spot.
out then.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he fell as far as he did. I thought he was going in the first 15.
You had him
I
going
thought
to
he was
the-
going before Ted.
You had him
for
going to the
sure.
Cowboys.
Yeah,
we had him
I-
going to the Broncos.
I thought the Seahawks
I
were
mean,
going to take him after Ted McMillan was off the board for the Panthers.
Well, we'll get to who they took here momentarily, but Nick, who was your second notable draft pick?
My second was another Bronco, a little biased. I went with wide receiver Pat Bryant out of Illinois at pick 74. When I watched this guy, now we've all seen the comparisons between him and Michael Thomas.
Not yet.
Like, as I knocked everything off the table. Sean Payton can turn this guy into a Michael Thomas, but I even said it when we were sitting down here. When I watch him, I see Tim Patrick.
Who gave us a lot of energy, a much needed player at the time.
Yep. I see a typical Sean Payton
And if
tall
his floor right now is Tim Patrick, successful pick.
W pick. Like
Either way,
always-
I think he has the size to
Yeah.
definitely control the
Dude, the
outside
guy-
with the catching ability.
His
Absolutely.
route running for
someone that big.
I cannot wait to see what they do with him. He's going to be a good matchup for certain corners.
This offense has so much potential for creativity.
You know, Sean said it. You draft certain guys to see if you can draw defenses who primarily run nickel, the Bills being one of them. That's how they stopped us in the playoffs. You use certain guys to cause matchups that forces teams to get put into a base defense.
Yep.
And Sean says this could be that guy that they utilize on offense to force defenses to go into a base man defense. Hell, if that's right and you got him in the third round, successful pick.
Not a bad pick.
Yeah. Dom, your second notable pick.
So my second notable pick is also biased, another Seahawks pick.
Yeah, but I
is
agree with
Elijah Arroyo, pick number 50, taken by the Seahawks. What was it, third round?
Yeah, out of Miami, third round.
A tight end that I think is severely underrated. I was surprised he didn't go sooner.
He
But-
was mocked to the Broncos so much leading up to the draft.
Yeah, I mean, he is freaking huge.
He was a stud at Miami. I mean, the tight end class this year was tremendously deep. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's something that we need is you watch his route running. It's phenomenal.
I think he'll be a day one starter, and I think he replaces Noah Fant by midseason. And I think the reason they took him is knowing that Noah Fant is a blocking tight end now.
I
and
don't
is
think he'll
much
fully
more-
replace him, but I think he'll be in certain passing packages that are.
You don't take a guy with this skill set.
He was lining up in the slot sometimes. I mean,
He's
we
athletic.
have literally another wide
And that's
receiver.
what I'm saying.
tight
That's
end.
what I'm saying. I think they did this to give the notion that Noah Fant, yes, you're a piece of this offense, but you're not the route we're going anymore.
Yeah.
They're trying to turn this offense into a dynamic Clint Kubiak offense. And what we've seen him do both in Denver and in New Orleans is he likes to spread the ball. He doesn't run tight wing offenses. It's all 4 vertical spreads, and he runs route trees out of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're trying to do with the Seattle Seahawks. Is they want to spread the ball now. They don't want to run it upside the middle
And it's
anymore.
a
They
perfect
don't want
fit.
to. Yeah,
It's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
It goes along
he'll
right
stretch
with
the field.
narrative.
The vertical game with him is going to be insane.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and he's got the height to do it.
Going off of tight end, my third notable pick was Caleb Lohner. We got him in the 7th round, pick 241.
sir.
So this one's odd. Only played 1 year of football
Yeah.
at Utah. He had
In his life.
He
He hadn't
recorded.
played before.
He had recorded 4 catches, all 4 of them
4
going for
tuds.
touchdowns. And I was telling Dom this before we recorded today. I'm like, the reason that I chose this guy is because I texted Nick within 20 minutes of this pick. I said, you know what? I like this pick. There's so much risk in it, and I love it. The guy is 6'7", 256 pounds, and runs what looks like a 4.5, 4.6 40 on the field with the pads
This is like
on.
Jimmy Graham 2.0.
And this is another thing that Sean Payton said. He's like, I couldn't fade away from how much he resembled Jimmy Graham's game. He's
Seahawk.
like,
I love Jimmy
everyone
Graham
takes
when
away
he
from Jimmy Graham because he's just different. He stands out. He's tall. He's huge. He's athletic. He shouldn't run for that size. And Sean Payton's the guy who looks at this and says, you know what, I want the one guy. You can't teach athletic ability. You can't teach size. So as Sean Payton looks at this and says, you know what, this is a project we're willing to take on. We've got Evan Ingram for 2 years. You got 2 years to figure this out. I love this pick. And then ESPN and all the reporters come out and say how this pick is going to be great and this and that. And I want to make it known. I texted you and told you that this pick was I think this is my second favorite pick of the draft.
Wow.
Yeah, for the Broncos class. I'm so excited to see what they do. If he's used as they're
Correctly,
saying
yeah.
they're going
Yeah.
to. If he's just going to be like Nate Adkins, then he's going to be the next long gone tight end in 2 years.
Yep.
But as it stands right now, I'm excited for it.
Damn.
That's a damn how good this pick was, not that he sneezed.
Yeah.
By the way, bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Nick, your third notable pick.
My third is quarterback Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon. He was drafted by the Browns with pick 94 before Shador Sanders.
Take that deep breath because it's needed.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, but what we didn't mention is I think the Browns took this guy because they believe he is their quarterback of the future. I
He's
think
good.
they only took Shador because he was still there.
He was still available in round 5. and
They
didn't
were just
expect
like,
it.
well,
Well, what
let's
comes
try
with
it.
Shador? Dion,
A lot of baggage.
money, resources. No, I'm saying beyond that. They're hoping.
Yeah, they want the jersey sales. They want.
Everyone looking at me.
Because that's all I
What do you
hear.
mean? What?
As much as it is baggage, it also is.
A lot of attention.
There's a chance at media spotlight, and
Yeah.
that equates to money and all the other things that this team wants. You want to get put on the primetime stage, you need a quarterback that is known.
I
this
think
is it.
Dylan Gabriel is better than Shador. I'm gonna go out and say
There are certain
I'm gonna go out and
facets of
say
his game that I can say yes. For a left-handed quarterback, he is tremendously skilled at this game.
Yeah.
But
I
do you
mean, we
think
saw
the
it at Oregon.
Bears reworked their whole offense for a left-handed quarterback?
The Browns, not the
Browns.
Bears.
Fuck.
God,
Same
every
thing.
week.
Same time. Same thing.
I mean, look.
Say that again. I actually didn't hear the question.
Do you think that the Browns redo their whole offense for a left-handed quarterback?
We saw the
If Mike
Dolphins do
McDaniel-
it with
yeah,
Tua.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can be
Every
done.
team that had Michael Vick had to do it.
It can be done.
Every team that had to have Tim Tebow had to do it.
Yeah.
And we've never heard wide receivers come out and bitch about it either. They
Steve
kind of
Young?
just conform to it. Yeah. There you go. Perfect example. I don't think it's a hard switch. I think it'll take a good
Yeah.
training camp. It'll take a few weeks to get used to it, but I think I'd rather hear Nick's breathing when he's sick. Like, holy crap. The poor listeners, man. Like, turn your chair around. Step away.
Just turn the mic around.
I'll turn the mic off next time.
All right, Dom, it is your turn to present your third notable pick.
So my number 3 pick,
Staying bias.
staying bias, Seahawks first-round pick, Gray Zabel.
The best interior
This
lineman.
this
in the
one
draft.
caught me off guard. I was thinking, hey, Matthew Golden's on the board. Trent McMillan's already picked. Take Matthew Golden. No, they come out, and John Snyder finally gets his head out of his ass, decides, hey, I want to do something for the better of this team in the long run, picks the most versatile lineman
I think he's better than Tyler Booker. I'm not kidding.
easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Will Campbell, maybe.
He's
I
an interior, though. I think
Exactly.
this
But-
guy can play center or guard.
He can play anywhere.
Yeah.
He can play outside, too.
Yeah.
He has the ability to play all 5 positions on the line. He can play anywhere we need him. We saw him start playing center in the championship?
Mhm.
Then before he was obviously the interior lineman. But he's just watching his film. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, and
I thought-
originally you weren't happy either. I have a video of it.
I wasn't happy because
We
you
all
know,
reacted like casuals to
Yeah,
our picks. Yeah.
this is how I feel like how the Patriots.
You know what it
felt.
is? It's fans wanting the sexy pick. They want the
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah.
They want the receivers.
Yep.
They want the running backs. And then you're like, well, wait, we need a team need, and this is the guy we need.
But after you sit back and really think about it, I'm like,
I mean, yeah, we
wow,
talked
this
about it
is a
for
good
weeks
pick.
on end that
Yeah.
the draft had to address the Seattle's offensive line.
And
Yeah.
what did they
A-plus
do?
pick if this guy pans out.
Yep.
Yep.
And not just that, but they ended up taking other ones later. I was really happy with how
Yeah.
the Seahawks handled it. Finally looked like an NFL team that wanted to win.
So speaking of the sexy pick with the quarterbacks of the classes, you guys can shut on me for this all you want. I think that Will Howard has a lot to offer to the game. I think that he showed that by going to Ohio State and winning a championship. Granted, yes, they had Quinshon and Travion in that backfield. Yes, I understand they have a lot of weapons. I think Will Howard has a lot to bring to the table, and I think the Steelers taking this pick was ballsy, and I love it. They took him at pick 185. I want to say it's the 4th round. And We saw it with Gruden on the quarterback class episode. If you watch it, if you didn't, I'm going to let you in on it. Will Howard is a guy who knows football. He's a guy who wants to play football, but he's another project quarterback. He needs to be refined. But I think right now he beats out Mason Rudolph. You don't go get Aaron Rodgers, he's your day one starter. He has that much talent right now.
Wow.
Are the Steelers the team to do it, though?
If there's a guy who has belief in with his track record, it's Mike Tomlin. Do we like the average mediocrity 10-7 record? No, but it's always talked about.
What quarterbacks has he developed?
That's not developed. It's thrived. He's thrived with Mason Rudolph. He's thrived with all these bum-ass quarterbacks. If he started with them, who's to say he can't?
And they
Will Howard
all
be serviceable?
left.
Doesn't matter
They're
when he
all
had.
gone.
It
but
never
when-
panned out. In the
But
long
it doesn't
run.
matter though. When he had them, he dealt with them. Why is Mason Rudolph back on the roster right now?
So they didn't have anybody else.
But why did they choose him over any other
knew
bum
the
backup in
system.
the league? Okay, and what did he do when he was in the
He's
system?
familiar with
He
the
won
Got
football.
smacked in the head with his own helmet.
But he won football. But he won football games.
Did he?
Yes, he did. He won football games.
Not-
Duck
in a pretty
Hodges
way.
won some football games.
He won football games, whether we like it or not. And I think Will Howard's better than any other guy they've had in there recently. Maybe even better than Justin Fields.
Wow.
Yes, I like Will Howard that
Wow.
much.
Better than Russ?
You haven't even.
Not Russ. Not Russ.
Good.
You lost me.
You think he's better than Russ?
Everybody's better than Russ.
Are you better than Russ?
I'd rather have Shador than Russ. I could beat Russell Wilson right now. If
I'm
you
gonna
put
mute
me
my mic.
if you put me on the Giants, I
Thank
would
you.
win a Super Bowl.
Now you just hear through our mics. What'd you just say? No, what nonsense did you just say? I vaguely heard you. Say it again.
I said if I was on the Giants right now, Russell Wilson got banished to China,
Shanghai Sharks.
Shanghai Sharks. I would win a Super Bowl with the New York Giants.
All right, let's
Wow.
That's not a crazy thing to
Nick,
say.
go to your fourth notable.
That's
pick.
not a crazy
Go
thing
your,
to say.
Stick with the Giants theme and go to your other pick.
So, the Giants got one of the players I wanted the most in the draft.
You talked
in
about him
Cam
every day
Scatterbo,
until he was
every
picked.
single
The
day.
minute he was picked.
He got drafted in round 4, pick 105. The NFL as a whole needs more physical running backs, right? There's
He's
a lot
bowling
of
ball.
there's a lot of agile, speedy backs, right? A lot of Jaleel McLaughlin types. There's not a lot of power backs left in the league because they don't last.
Well,
Right.
look at
Marshawn
Nick
was
Chubb.
the last of them.
LeGarrette Blunt even.
Yeah.
What happened
Leonard
to those
Fournette
guys?
was one of them.
They disappear because it's too
It's not sustainable.
it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Leonard Fournette's making a comeback.
What? He signed with the Bills and never touched the field.
He's trying to.
You could try it. Ain't
So is
happening.
Colin Kaepernick.
Well, that's a little different. That guy deserves to be banished to the
Wah,
Shanghai
wah.
Sharks. I hate that guy.
We'll keep that conversation for another time.
This is an off the field conversation.
Yeah, that's not a conversation.
Anyway, I think it's good the NFL has more physical backs with Genty and Scatterbo. I hope Scatterbo works out. I cannot say the same for Genty. No offense, but
Well, I guess
That's
that
where I'm gonna
shit's
leave
on
it. That's
Dom's
where I'm
future.
gonna leave it.
D1 hater.
yes, sir.
Dom, I'm excited to hear your fourth one.
So my fourth one is Will Campbell, pick 4, going to the New England Patriots in round 1. I think this was the pick that every single Patriots fan didn't want,
All
but
they did was
needed.
bitch and moan because
This
they don't
was
know
Rex arms.
football.
A
They don't know
great
football.
pick.
They don't know
great
football.
pick. They needed a lineman. They
Desperately.
found their franchise quarterback, Drake May. They found him.
They have a receiver in Stephon
They
Diggs.
have
If his draft interview doesn't paint the picture for all you need to know about this guy, stop watching football while you're at it now. The guy cried in front of 100,000 plus people. The guy used the line, "I will fight and die
for Drake May."
You have found a true offensive lineman who's not going to bring off the field issues or distractions like Trent Brown. Sorry. You finally have some
I love Trent
stability.
Williams on the New England Patriots.
Whatever. You still have some.
That'd be
You
nice.
finally have some stability on the line. I'm tired of the arm slander. We've watched players
Oh my
undersized all the time, hands,
Aiden
arms,
Hutchinson
height.
had
It's
short arms. I think he's doing all right.
just doing great. Like it pisses me off. So I'm glad that you can at least come out here and say that,
I
especially as a
love
Hawks
him. I
fan.
love them. The second
that-
they picked him, I'm like, we all knew he was
Me and
going
Nick
there.
said right away, we'll gladly take him at 20 if you want to give him to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Garrett Bowles and Mike McGlinchey, but
I'll take this 23.
Mike McGlinchey
Yeah.
out the door.
Sorry,
I'm
buddy.
excited to see how he does.
I think he'll be good.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he'll be good.
Without a doubt.
All right. My final notable pick, I went Jackson Dart, pick 25. Now, yes, this is not a beautiful pick. A lot of people slandered it, actually. But I think it sets
Rightfully
a precedent, and it says a lot that if the Giants traded up, there's something he did right in the interviews and he did in the pre-draft process that others didn't. And I think Jackson Dart would not be taken if he didn't have the moxie that he has. And I said it weeks ago, and you guys all looked at me crazy, but it's been passed
I didn't
around.
expect him to go this quick.
His pro comps and his comparisons, at best, I'm not saying right now, at best, mirror the likes of Matt Ryan and Jalen Hurts. Now, I know there's two completely different quarterbacks, but those are the style of games he has, depending on which style of game he's doing, because he doesn't know how to protect himself. When he runs the ball, he's careless, and that's what causes injuries, and we don't want that. But I think if Jackson Dart truly pans out, he might be the guy for the Giants after all. I mean, they would not trade up and do this if there wasn't something there, but I think that this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back for the current staff, and Brian Dable might be on his way after this year if it doesn't work.
This is the same franchise that drafted Daniel Jones at 6.
So I wanted to say this. This is this last time they drafted a quarterback, they also traded up for Dexter Lawrence. They get Abdul Carter and they trade up for Jackson Dart, and I hope history doesn't repeat itself. But I like the risk in it. I think it was an entertaining pick. I think
entertaining, yes.
When
good,
me and you saw them trade up, before we let Dom know on what was going on, me and you both made the shocked face of like, what the actual hell is going on in this class. None of the mocks were accurate to what happened, which honestly was entertaining in itself. So I'm not saying it's notable in a good sense. I'm saying it's notable, and I can't wait to see what happens. You have Jameis Winston, Russ, and him on one roster. All three have to make the
That's
roster.
a headache.
The question is, how does it happen and who does it?
So I think Russ gets cut. I think Jameis starts at first, and I think Jackson Dart.
They already
backs
said
him up.
Russ was starting. I hate
They
to
did say that
to
already.
rain on
Casual.
your
They
parades.
already say that.
Brian Dable doesn't know what's going on. He's not in control.
He's on his couch eating
He's
burritos
fired.
right
Why
now.
don't you move on to your fifth notable pick, who was the guy selected before Jackson Dart?
So I went with Abdul Carter at pick 3 to the Giants. Now, I picked this mostly because I wanted to talk about how he asked Lawrence Taylor to wear 56.
He said
And
no.
Lawrence Taylor said, hell no.
Go make your own number.
I
legendary.
respect that.
Yeah. And, I also respect Abdul Carter for coming out and saying that it's still his favorite player of all time. All the respect is there, and he's more motivated than ever.
Yeah.
You got a dog who's ready to eat, and I'm excited to see that. And Abdul Carter,
He's motivated.
no matter whether he was a team lead or not, you could not pass up that player at 3. I don't care where you're sitting.
100%,
That's a player you have to
100%.
take.
Oh yeah.
He might have been the best player in the whole class.
Very well could happen. Look at Micah Parsons. Dom, this is going to be entertaining for me to watch.
So
please get
someone
on
that
with
Nick hates.
Boo.
I took pick 6, Ashton Genty.
it. He was a Bronco. Boy,
This
did he say
is I think a team
Disgusting.
changer. This is an offense
Yeah, it's a team changer.
reworker.
Yeah, he's going to rework the offense, all right.
We're gonna
After he
see.
fumbles every time he touches the ball.
We're gonna see the Raiders' whole offense, I think, shift.
What offense? Brock Bowers? That was the offense.
We're gonna see the whole Raiders' offense shift to a run heavy.
Because they have Geno
And I
Smith.
think they're going to rely on Ashton Genty very heavy. I think Pete Carroll looks at him and says, "Oh, beast mode, beast mode, beast mode. Marshawn Lynch. This is Marshawn Lynch. Let's give him some
bring it down to the
Skittles."
goal
And he's
line
not going to
and
mess up
pass the
twice,
ball.
right? He's
Yeah.
not going to mess up twice, right?
He will not do it.
We're going to stick to the game plan.
He's going to run him on the 1 yard line.
I hope
But-
so.
He won't.
He will.
I don't want to get PTSD. Please, please, not again.
Don't ruin another running
Don't
back.
Yeah.
make Richard Sherman like go have
Lose
shell shock
out-
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a sad day. That was a sad day.
Run the ball.
So, Nick, what were your thoughts on Genty going to the Raiders, as me and Dom said a month
so
and a half ago to you?
Ashton Genty is the most overrated player in this draft.
Wow.
He fumbles so often. It's like I'm watching Melvin Gordon. Honest to God, it's like I'm watching Melvin Gordon.
Wow.
He played at a team that really isn't good. Right? He played
Are we
mostly.
talking about Boise State?
Yeah.
Okay.
He played mostly against other teams that are.
He's in that
He
Western
did
Conference.
play against Oregon.
He's in the
Right?
Mount Western Conference. That's what happens.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
see
every time he touched the ball, it was something big.
Went to the end zone.
fumble.
What?
That guy fumbled a lot.
Went to the end zone, though. Are you researching? Oh, we about to debunk you. What'd you find? What'd you
I'm
look
waiting
up?
for it. It's loading.
Oh, God, the Wi-Fi. We'll find out tomorrow.
He had 9 fumbles over his final 2 seasons.
That proves my point.
Nick, in 20 games, he had 9 fumbles.
Exactly. That's like half the games you play you fumble.
No, over 2 seasons he had 9 fumbles. He had 5 in
That didn't
2023
change
and
his-
4 in
That didn't change
2024.
Nick's mindset at all.
You're fumbling 9
When
times.
you are running the ball for 2,600 yards, scoring
in
29
the
touchdowns,
NFL, in the NFL,
you
that's
are
not
going
fly.
to fumble the ball.
And Melvin Gordon had a similar stat line in college, right? What did he do when he got to the NFL? He was okay. Got to the Broncos, it's like the wheels fell off the wagon. This guy is handing the ball
Not
to
in
the
the first
defense
season.
every time he touches the ball. It's like I don't understand. I
So-
don't understand what happened.
so if
and
you're-
I think the same thing's gonna happen to Ashton Genty.
Okay. He recorded 830 touches
Yep.
over 3 seasons and fumbled 10 times. Do the math on that.
Bro's actually calculating
Once
this. Oh my
every
God.
83 touches, he fumbles the ball. How many touches do you think he's going to get in an NFL game? I pray to God they're not handing the ball off to him 83 times in a game. That's like one fumble every 4 or 5 games.
They're not gonna give him the ball more than 17 watts.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. I think we're gonna be talking about next season. They should have given him more
For round numbers, we'll say he gets the ball 20 times a game.
on average. Yeah.
On average, 20 times a game. That's 4 games before he fumbles the ball. I think that's pretty
You want your
average.
running back fumbling that often?
Obviously, I wouldn't want my running back fumbling at all, but it's going to happen. It happens to everybody.
But here's my other thing. If we're aware of the fumbling issue, I assume they would have talked about it in the pre-draft meetings, and where they're gonna work on it. Ball security is huge. So I mean,
Can you break that habit though?
Sean Payton did last year. Remember when we did the drills after the preseason because of them fumbling? We didn't deal with that many fumbles this past year. Why are you staring at me like you're like a loss of words?
Because it's different.
You just hate the Raiders and you hate Genty now.
This is a running back.
He's smiling
that-
because I broke the ice. You hate the Raiders. Just say yes, Gabe. I hate the
I
Raiders.
hate the
and
Raiders.
I hate the Genties on the Raiders.
I hate the Raiders, and I love this pick.
That's what. Thank you.
I
That's
love
all
this
we-
pick
Should we
because
stop it there?
he's gonna ruin the franchise.
And yeah, we lost it. All right. Well, should we cut it there? I mean, there's not much else I can argue with.
Mark my words
Yeah.
right now. Ashton Genty will
Get
be
it
a
out
bust.
before I finish it up.
Ashton Genty will be a bust. Mark my words. Clip
Wow.
it. Clip it.
Wow.
All right, that's how we're gonna finish the show then. Boys, that is all we have for episode 28. If you want to work with or collab with the Turf Talk podcast, reach us at gabe.podcast@gmail.com. That is the best way for us to reach you in a formal manner. And follow us on all socials so you never miss any content or updates. I went ham on those draft updates this past weekend, boys. I covered the first 2 rounds, covered some notable picks. I worked hard on that, so please go show the content love. Dom does all of our YouTube editing. Nick does the short form content. I do all the clips and all the graphics. So it's a collaborative effort. So please go follow so you don't miss anything, and it helps us support and everything. And that is all we have for this week's episode. So we'll see you guys next week for episode 29. With that, join the huddle and join the talk with the Turf Talk podcast.